How to deal with unhappy people, should you even keep them in your life or not, and why should you do or should you not do so? We are going to enumerate some reasons to see if the person right now around you who is complaining is somebody you should keep around, and if so, how can you help that person? Basically, I like to start those considerations with asking a few meta questions about the purpose of the interaction you have with that person. Is this a conversation you really care about? Even better, what is this conversation about? That is calling out what we call the meta frame in communication skills. What is the overall context of that conversation? Is it even something you really need, or is it something you have to go through, but you don't even want to be there in the end? More specifically, what benefit are you getting out of this person, out of interacting with that person, or out of this interaction? Do you even get any sort of benefit? If not, then why the hell are you talking with that person if you don't have to? And if you do get some, elaborate. What am I getting? Maybe it is something insecure. Maybe I want to keep that person around because I feel more comfortable even if that person is heavily toxic, but I still need that comfort. Fine, you have the right to say it. At least clarify. What are you getting out of the interaction with that person? Next, what will happen for you? And that may be more confrontational for your conscious mind. What will happen for you if this relationship stops? Completely stops, that is over. It may trigger different responses for different people. If you are interacting with somebody who is unhappy, but that deep down you love that person, it might trigger the, well, I just don't want to lose that person. Maybe it is a family member, maybe it is your wife, your husband. That may be somebody you don't want to lose either. But in that case, what will happen if this never changes for the rest of your life? If this conflicting situation or relationship never ever change for the entire rest of your life, then what will happen? How will you feel? How will your life be degraded somehow? Or maybe your life will finally improve because you have endured enough conflicts, which might be weird, but why not? Just clarify for you what will happen in the future if nothing is changing. Now, when you have elaborated on those general meta-frame concepts, we can go more into the specifics of how to handle the discussion with such a person. We have three language patterns here that you may find quite useful. The first one is appealing to some sort of pattern interrupt, so the kind of shocking phrases that will interrupt someone's trail of thoughts, and that may be extremely relevant with somebody who is not really paying attention anymore, not really listening anymore, because that person is too much trapped into a massive bag of anxieties and always complaining. The phrase is, I just don't like what you're saying right now. And you don't try to justify, you just make a clear statement. Dude or girl, I just don't like what you're saying right now. And that's all. You look at them in the eyes, you say that clearly without any apologies. That will be a shock, especially if they are not used to hear you say that. That will be a shock that will make you at least come out like an electric shock treatment, like, what's happening? At least they will come out of their negative self-inflicted trance and they will listen to you. From there, if there are indeed some positive solutions to find, they are in a much better state now to find them than when they are just ruminating and complaining and it's so difficult in my life. When you can shock them just enough to make them come out of their trance, then they will listen. The second language pattern here is there anything I can help you with? Going to the specifics. Specifically, is there one specific concrete demand you have for me right now, or that you want out of me right now? Because when somebody is just complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining some more, at some point, yeah, can you just go to the end of your complaints and tell me what you want? Because some people don't even realize it anymore. If you have never shocked them just enough to make them realize their behaviors, they may just end up complaining all the time to you because you have given an open ear, but they don't respect your time either at some point. So you can just cut them short by asking politely, of course, but still asking, can you just tell me? Is there something I can do for you? Is there really something I can help you with? or not. It helps endless or useless debates and arguments to go to a conclusion, to go to a positive outcome by removing all the unnecessary complaints that may not even need to be mentioned once you have gotten the clear thing they wanted to say. And the last one, number 3, is so what do you want, where do you want to go from there? There you're not asking about what they want from you, but for themselves. For themselves, Johnny, where do you want to go from there? Something bad happened, and if it was a tragic event, of course, I encourage you do take some time to let the person talk and be empathetic and let them express their pain or their sadness. That's normal part of the grieving process. And at some point, ask them, okay, now we have to attach, you don't say that, but now we have to attach their mind to a new direction, without which their mind will just loop in circles all the time, ruminating on the same negative thoughts. If there is never any new direction set for your mind, it is too easy to get trapped into a depressed mode, some depressed, paralyzed mode, because when your mind doesn't have anywhere to go, well, I will just keep on doing what I have done so far. And if that thing has been nothing but complaining and victimizing myself because I am such a victim, because this happened to me, that may be okay for the grieving process, but at some point you need to climb back into some new path for your life. So this one is appealing to the future outcome. Where do we go from there? Do you even have at least a direction in mind? And if not, of course, please let me help you with that. I will be glad to help you. But did you even consider that at some point you will need to get past this? And I'm not saying to do it now if you're not ready. Definitely take your time. Just stay aware that at some point you will need to get out of this. And there is a great example of a real situation I've known years ago. We were 3 guys, 3 friends, 2 friends of mine. One of them had a girlfriend and he kept complaining about her. Every time we had a dinner together, he had nothing, almost nothing else to say than complaints about her behaviors, how negative she was, how jealous she was. And at this point, this specific night, this specific dinner, he said she wanted them to buy a house or an apartment, but she wanted them to live together. And he kept giving us complaints about, I'm not sure I want, because what if this and what if that, and maybe this, but maybe that. It was kind of looping in circles for like 1 hour, and with the other guy we were kind of joking about it because just to challenge him a little bit, because he kept complaining about it. We challenged him a little in a friendly manner, but at some point I asked the one question that caused a big blank in the conversation and made him have to accept what he really felt deep down, because I said, on the intention, I said, okay, let's say all the things you have just enumerated as being bad about her, because you said there was this negative side to her, you don't like when she does this and that, and when she says, okay, those are the negative sides. Let's say we remove them. It's taken care of. Either she stops doing it or she never had those issues. Whatever, we can remove all the things you complained about. Then, what is your reason to want to stay with her? Do you even have one criteria or justification or reason to want, to desire to maintain the relationship with your girlfriend? Yeah, what is it? And he had a big blank. He just looked at his meal like this. And he didn't even know what to say. So sometimes, yes, you can ask uncomfortable questions and they may not be enjoyed by the people in front of you, but when they trust you, at least they may listen more carefully. And they may realize that sometimes, yes, they need to move on with their life and go into new situations. And in those cases, having a helpful friend definitely is of great value. It is just a matter of calibrating when can you say what. To that extent, if you want to develop your skills with communication, with how to say difficult things, how to enumerate 10 facts sometimes in the conversation, or like how to reframe a belief that may get in the way of somebody evolving with his life, you have a document down below called the 7 Steps to Master Sleight of Mouth, which will definitely help you with developing the right language patterns whenever you want to influence somebody in a positive way, and also distance yourself from toxic and negative people, which is a part of life, unfortunately, until the point where eventually you don't even have to deal with them anymore because of your reputation, which is kind of where I am these days. It's crazy, but it's definitely true. And you will have great enjoyment reading that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Keep working on your skills, I guess. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.